Well, hi everyone and welcome into my YouTube channel. Fantastic to have you here with me today. My name is Lisa Tamati and today I'm going to be talking about how to reverse hair graying naturally and what the latest sort of research is telling us. And it's a follow-up from another episode that I did with Dr. Elena Serenova, so if you want to go and check out that video as well, that was a very popular one on my channel. And this is a subject that I'm really interested in. I've been going grey since my early 20s. Genetically, we have a predisposition in our family, so I'm always all ears on how I can slow that process down. And so far, just in my own family, I've seen that my siblings, for example, have gone greyer faster than I have, so maybe some of the things that I'm doing are working. And now as new research comes to light, I hope to be able to even reverse some of that and definitely slow it down further. So if you are worrying about hair graying, this is the video for you. Now, hair graying is of course a natural part of aging, but research has shown that it can be slowed or even reversed through various approaches. So graying occurs when the hair follicles stop producing melanin. That's the pigment that gives the hair its colour. Now, this is often due to oxidative stress, hydrogen peroxide build-up in the follicles, and changes in mitochondrial function. So that'll give us a few tips when we're heading forward on what we can do. Now, fortunately, there are a range of supplements and peptides and therapies that can help counteract these effects, and I'm going to dive into some of the most effective strategies for reversing hair graying. So number one, supplements. What sort of supplements should we be looking at? Now, nutritional supplements play a real critical role in reducing oxidative stress and supporting the body's natural ability to maintain hair pigmentation. And here are some supplements that can help. Number one, to check on, especially if you have methylation defects in your genetics, say you've got the MTHFR gene mutations, or you have, like me, a really rare MTHFR deficiency. That may be why my family all went grey really early, is because of an MTHFR, quite a rare one that is very homozygous poor in our family genes. So B12 is an absolute crucial thing, not just for hair graying, but also for the many things that methylation does, really key factor. So having adequate B12 and understanding what B12 does in the body, that can be a common cause of premature graying. So ensuring adequate levels can help maintain natural hair colour. Now, this is a really important one too for vegetarians and vegans. They don't get that generally, you don't get it from your vegetarian diet, so you may have to supplement. In fact, I would say you do wise to supplement. But methylation is quite complicated, so you want to maybe work with a practitioner on that one. The next one I want to put on your radar is one of my favourites, or two of my favourites actually, nicotinamide mononucleotide and a newer molecule called 1-MNA, which is even more exciting. And these are both related to the NAD plus metabolism, which plays a crucial role in cellular energy. And I've done many videos and podcasts with luminaries in the space on the NAD pathways and what they can do for longevity in the body and how to carefully upregulate these. Now, just throwing a heck of a lot of NAD precursors into the mix, not always a good idea, because you can upregulate something called NMNT, and that's one of my reasons why I'm more fascinated with the 1-MNA. All of these M and N's are really confusing, but if you want to do a deep dive, I've done some videos on that. 1-MNA and NMN are both in that NAD metabolism, and they play a crucial role in cellular energy. It helps slow down aging, and also really important for hair health. Now, here's how they could potentially help with reversing hair graying. So NMN is a precursor to the NAD+. It's a molecule critical for energy production in cells and for maintaining mitochondrial health. Now, mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of cells, and their dysfunction can contribute to oxidative stress and aging, including graying hair. Now, NMN may help reverse hair graying by increasing these NAD plus levels. And NMN supports better mitochondrial function, reduces oxidative stress, and improves cellular repair mechanisms. And these processes can positively impact hair follicles and the melanocytes, the cells responsible for pigment production. So potentially slowing or reversing hair graying. Now, the anti-aging benefits, since NMN enhances cellular energy production and reduces oxidative damage, it helps delay various aging processes, including those affecting hair pigmentation. But it also can upregulate something called the NMNT enzyme, and that's a deleterious one that can reduce your methyl groups in your body and can cause the NAD to feed the wrong cells in the body, things like cancer cells, obesity, fat cells, that type of thing. So go and listen to the videos. We can link down below to those deep dives into into NMN and to 1-MNA. So now let's flip and go to 1-MNA. Now this is a metabolite of niacin, so vitamin B3, and has been studied for its role in NAD metabolism and its anti-inflammatory properties. It also targets an enzyme called NMNT, nicotinamide N-methyltransferase, which is linked to metabolism and cellular aging. Now, how 1-MNA may reverse hair graying: it can reduce inflammation and support healthier cellular function. It may benefit the hair follicles by reducing stress and promoting environment needed for melanin production. And the impact on hair health by lowering that NMNT, that's the deleterious one, has been suggested to improve mitochondrial function and overall metabolic health, which can indirectly affect hair follicles and slow down that graying process by supporting cellular health and combating inflammation. So 1-MNA could contribute to maintaining hair pigmentation. So combining the benefits maybe of NMN and 1-NMA together, low doses of NMN combined with 1-NMA may be a really good combination. Now the next one to put on your radar is pantothenic acid. This is vitamin B5, and this supports hair health and pigmentation, helping to slow down or reverse the graying process. And then there's something called catalase, an enzyme that breaks down hydrogen peroxide, which builds up in those hair follicles and contributes to graying. The next one on the list is copper, and this is essential for melanin production. So low copper levels are associated with premature graying. However, you have to be careful with copper because zinc and copper are opposite antagonists of each other, and often what I see when I'm doing functional medicine testing with my clients is too high a copper. So get your copper zinc ratios checked before you go and throw in copper into the mix, and you always want to be having zinc if you're having copper. Okay, but copper is an essential for melanin production. The next one on the list is PABA, or para-aminobenzoic acid, and some studies suggest that PABA can help restore natural hair colour, especially when the graying is caused by nutritional deficiencies. The next one is the zinc, so that would go well with that copper that we mentioned up above. Remember, they're antagonistic, they're important. Zinc is very important for the immune system, as we all know, but it also supports various enzymatic processes, including those involved with hair pigmentation. The next supplement on the list is Resveratrol, another famous one that a lot of people are taking, a potent antioxidant. So Resveratrol reduces oxidative stress and may slow down hair graying. The next one is one that the Chinese have known about. It's a traditional Chinese herb called fo tea, or he shou wu, and apologies if I've got that pronunciation wrong. But this has been used to restore natural hair colour and promote hair health. Now, fo tea in Chinese apparently actually means him with black hair. So it is something that's been traditionally used for this. The next one on the list is L-cysteine, which is an amino acid that supports the production of keratin, and this is essential for strong, healthy, pigmented hair. And next on the list is N-acetylcysteine, and actually my new favourite variant of N-acetylcysteine is something called NACET, N-acetylcysteine ethyl transferase, and this gets actually into the blood-brain barrier, does a whole lot of other things. It's a precursor to glutathione, boosts the body's glutathione levels, helping to reduce oxidative stress that contributes to hair graying. Now, each of these supplements targets oxidative stress, nutritional deficiencies, or enzymatic imbalances that lead to the loss of hair colour. So, should you take all of those? It really depends on what your nutrition is like and getting a good, nutrient workup. Are you deficient in different things? These are some of the questions that you might want to ask, and you may want to work with a practitioner to get that right. But those are the things that you should be thinking about putting in the mix if you're wanting to keep your hair colour. Now, the second part of this video, I wanted to talk about peptides for reversing hair graying. And peptides, if you follow this channel, you'll know one of my favourite subjects in the world. And peptides are, like the future of medicine, and they're very, very safe. They have a great safety profile. We need more human studies on these, but really exciting stuff happening in the peptides. Of course, it's getting harder and harder to get them because the FDA's come down on compounding pharmacies and even the research labs. But hopefully that will change as people become aware of peptides, and there's a lot more education now around peptides, and these are really, really key. So let's look at some of the peptides that you might want to consider for reversing hair graying. Now, they have really good potential for promoting cellular repair and melanin production at the follicular level. And one of those is called GHK-copper. So GHK-Cu, which is a copper peptide known for its regenerative properties. And GHK-Cu stimulates hair follicle health and melanin production, which could help restore its hair colour. Also fabulous for your skin health. So if you want youthful skin, this is something that a lot of biohackers are doing and taking GHK copper injections. Also really good for gut health. So that's more recent research, but many reasons to be taking GHK-Cu. Just again, watch for that copper if you've got copper toxicity. Copper toxicity is not something you want to have, so you maybe want to get your copper levels and your ceruloplasmin levels checked and your zinc to copper ratios checked before you do that. The next one is Melanotan 2. Now this is a peptide that stimulates melanin production and may help darken grey hair, so that's one that's worth trying. And then palmitoyl tetrapeptide 20, which is used in hair restoration treatments, and this peptide can promote melanin production in hair follicles. The next peptide on the list is Thymosin beta-4, a peptide known for tissue repair. It could aid in the regeneration of hair follicles damaged by oxidative stress. So I'm a big fan of Thymosin beta-4. You can actually get now TB500, which is a sort of synthetic form of Thymosin beta-4. You can actually get some of these now orally. In fact, I'm just about to interview tomorrow Kyle Vanderleest from Level Up Health, and he now has in his range of incredible supplements some bioavailable oral peptides, which I'm super excited about because, getting the injectable forms getting harder, and having these bioavailable and in an oral form, which has always been the problem, he's found ways to do that. So he has one with TB500 fragments, AC, STD, what is it? PK, don't quote me on that one. And there's another one. These are the terminal ends of the TB500 that he has in his formulation, and he'll explain more about that on a following video before I go and butcher it all. The next one I want to put on your list is Epithalon, and this promotes telomerase activity. Actually, I'm in the middle of doing a course with Dr. Bill Andrews on what lengthens telomeres. He is the telomere king. He is the world's leading scientist on telomerase, and this is one of the things, Epithalon, that can help with telomerase activity. Now, telomeres are the little caps at the ends of your chromosomes that protect your DNA, and as we get older, these get shorter and shorter with every replication of your cells. So when they start to do that, then they can unravel, and we can get wrong reading of the genes, and so on and so forth. So we want to promote telomerase activity, and this could help extend hair pigmentation. The next one on the list of the peptides is everybody's favourite poster child for peptides, BPC 157. Supports tissue regeneration, full stop, and could help with hair follicles, potentially reversing hair greying. And again, there is now orally available BPC 157. I have them in my shop. I have from a couple of different companies. So I have some from Healthgevity and Max Life Naturals, and Level Up also has a great one. And BPC is 157 does so much in the body, like not just for your hair greying side of things, but for wound healing, for ligaments and tendons, for gut health, really good for gut health. So look up BPC 157, it should be on everybody's list to do, and now we can get it bioavailable in an oral format, which is great, because who loves injecting themselves 100 times a day, and who can afford it because they're much more expensive, the injectables. The next one is biotinol GHK, a variant of GHK-Cu. Now, this peptide enhances the health of hair follicles, supporting melanin production. And these peptides work by regenerating damaged cells, improving follicle health, and encouraging melanin production, which can result in darker, healthier hair. Okay, so that's the peptide story. We did the supplement story, then we did the peptide story. Now we're going to change gears and we're going to talk about red light therapy. Now, I own a red light therapy clinic and I am a huge fan of red light therapy. It's also known as low-level laser therapy, and this has shown promise in hair health and pigmentation. And I stand under my red light, at least 3, 4, 5 times a week. It is dose dependent. It's a biphasic thing. You don't want to overdo the red light. You want to have just the right amount. But this therapy works by penetrating the scalp with specific wavelengths of red and near infrared light, which stimulate the mitochondria in the hair follicle cells. It improves mitochondrial function and leads to increased ATP production, which is your energy that the cell produces. And especially if you have mitochondrial dysregulation or dysfunction after, say, environmental or viruses or whatever is causing your age ATP problems, this can help bypass the first couple of complexes and go straight to complex 4 and make more cellular energy, and that cellular energy to do whatever your body needs, whatever that cell's job is. So this is another way of enhancing cellular metabolism and potentially restoring melanin production in hair follicles. Now, red light therapy also increases blood flow to the scalp, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to the hair follicles, improving overall follicle health. And this process may help repair melanocytes, the pigment-producing cells, and restore natural hair colour. Now, the best frequencies for red light therapy for this are 650 to 670 nanometers, and these wavelengths penetrate the scalp to moderate depths. So, different nanometers go to different levels in the body, right? So you want to be reaching that dermal layer in this case where the follicles are located, and they are effective for hair growth and possibly stimulating that melanin production. Then we have the 800 nanometer to 850 nanometer range, and this is near infrared light, and at these wavelengths penetrates deeper into the skin, improving the mitochondrial function and helping to reverse oxidative damage in the hair follicles. By improving follicle health and increasing melanin production, red light therapy can slow down or even reverse hair greying. So reversing hair greying requires a multifaceted approach, combining nutritional support, maybe peptides, advanced therapies like red light therapy, and also understanding your genetics, because your genetics, as I said at the outset, our family had poor genetics in this regard. So understanding your genetics would be a key factor. You can get genetic testing. I do genetic testing in my company. Now, not all of the genes that we would like to see are on every test, so you might want to shop around to find out are those genes covered in the test that you're looking at doing. But I'm a big fan of people getting at least their genes tested once, because they're not going to change, right? So whatever genes that you can get tested and find out about, you're going to have that information forever. You keep it in your library, you reread it to understand your predisposition. So it's a more personalised approach to understanding what do your genes need, okay? So these play also a critical role. And things like oxidative stress, how do you handle it? Are you susceptible to greying? So by targeting oxidative stress and supporting follicle health and stimulating melanin production, you can not only slow down the greying process, but also potentially restore your natural hair colour. And there are several genes that play a really significant role in premature hair greying by influencing processes like melanin production, oxidative stress management, and mitochondrial function. You see the recurring theme here. Now, understanding these genes can really help guide sort of a personalised strategy. So I've sort of thrown the bus at you. You've got all these things that you could do, and then, hey, let's get a bit more precision by using genetics to prevent or reverse hair greying. And here's an overview now of a couple of the genes, maybe not an extensive list, but this is some of the genes that could be key genes and what you can do to address their impact. So the first one is interferon regulatory factor 4, IRF4, and it helps. It's a gene that helps regulate melanin production in the hair follicles, and variants in this gene can affect how efficiently your body produces and stores melanin. What you can do, you can increase antioxidant intake to support melanin production, such as vitamin C, vitamin E. My favourite on the vitamin E is not the tocopherols, but the tocotrienols. Go and listen to my episode with Dr. Barry Tan. I think I did 2 episodes with Dr. Tan. He's amazing. He's the world's leading sort of vitamin E scientist, and tocotrienols far more effective as an antioxidant than the tocopherols, which are commonly in the supplements. So make sure you are getting the right form of vitamin E. In fact, tocopherols can interfere with tocotrienols. So you want to get a supplement that has only got tocotrienols in it if you're trying to go for vitamin E. And there are many other reasons besides hair colour why you'd want to do that, but that's a subject for another day. Also things like resveratrol, copper supplements. Copper is crucial for melanin production, as we said, and a deficiency can lead to hair greying. And again, that FOT, for this enzyme, for this genetic variation, this could be one that could help with that. So all of those are for the IRF4 gene, okay? Now we're going to go to the BCL2 gene, which is B-cell lymphoma 2, and its role in hair greying. It's involved in regulating cell death or apoptosis, including the survival of the melanocyte cells in the hair follicles, and reduced BCL2 activity may lead to premature loss of pigment-producing cells. So what you can do if you have this gene variant is resveratrol and quercetin are known to support longevity, cell longevity by protecting against oxidative stress, which may help melanocyte survival. Then there are omega-3 fatty acids for this one, and curcumin, 2 of my favourite supplements of all times. And they can also help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation that contribute to hair follicle damage. Now, if you're doing omega-3s, you want a quality one. You want to get a triglyceride or phospholipid form. You do not want an ethyl ester form. You want to have the EPA and the DHA, and I just did a deep dive with Dr. Michael Lewis, author of When Brains Collide, so check that video out as well, on fish oils and high-dose fish oils for brain health. But here we're talking about hair greying. It's another reason to take your omega-3 fatty acids. And then curcumin, again, has to be a bioavailable form. So make sure you check out. There are a number of good companies that do good ones, but just make sure you've got one that's really bioavailable. Don't go cheap with your fish oils. Don't go cheap with your supplements in general, because it's usually not done a good job if it's cheap, okay? As a formulator myself, I know that quality counts and quality costs money, unfortunately. But if you're buying cheap, you're probably going to get cheap, all right? Number 3 is superoxide dismutase 2, and its role in hair greying is it encodes an important antioxidant enzyme that helps neutralize free radicals, particularly within the mitochondria. So a deficiency or poor function of SOD2 can increase oxidative stress, leading to more hair greying. So what can you do for this one? This is where that N-acetylcysteine or that NACET that I mentioned above, or glutathione, but glutathione directly, unless it's a liposomal form, tends to shut down your own production a little bit, and also is a very big molecule, very hard to get in. So I do prefer the precursor N-acetylcysteine, or you can go another route where you go like something like sulforaphane. Listen to my episode with Dr. Christine Horton on that, which upregulates your own endogenous antioxidant capacity, and therefore very, very powerful to do that. But you have to have a sulforaphane that has both the myrosinase in it and, what's the other? It's slipped my mind what the other one is. But you need to have one that's not from a seed extract, but from the Brussels sprout itself, or from broccoli sprouts. Okay, so make sure you get a good quality sulforaphane if you're going to go that route. And if you are doing it that way, you want to keep the sulforaphane away from your other antioxidants, as they will cancel each other out. Getting off topic, I'm good at doing that. Right, next one that you can do for that particular gene, the SOD2, is that catalase, because that enzyme helps break down hydrogen peroxide, which accumulates in the hair follicles and can bleach hair from the inside. And supplementing with catalase may reduce oxidative damage and help prevent or reverse hair greying. And you'll see it in a lot of hair greying formulas that are out there. The fourth gene that you might want to look is TYR, or tyrosinase. And the TYR gene encodes the enzyme tyrosinase, which is essential for the first step of melanin production. And variants in this gene can impair melanin synthesis, leading to that greying. So what you can do for this, again, is that copper, again with that caveat. Make sure you check your copper levels before, because you may already be too much and not able to carry it around and not able to use it, and not enough zinc. So make sure you always check that out. And tyrosinase requires copper to function. So maintaining adequate levels or copper levels can support that melanin production. Vitamin B5, that pantothenic acid that we talked about initially, this vitamin supports the adrenal glands and may help sustain melanin production. And the fifth gene that I want to call to your attention is MC1R, melanocortin 1 receptor. MC1R regulates the balance between two types of melanin, eumelanin, the darker pigment, and pheomelanin, which is the lighter pigment. And certain variants of the MC1R gene are linked to red hair and early greying. So what you can do, vitamin D, supplementing with vitamin D may improve MC1R activity, since this gene is involved in pigmentation processes regulated by sun exposure. And peptides like the GHK-Cu, this copper binding peptide can stimulate the melanocyte activity and improve skin and hair health. Now, the sixth gene to put on your list is POMC, propiomelanocortin, okay, POMC, and it influences the production of melanocyte-stimulating hormones, so MSH, which can affect melanin production in the hair follicles, and variants can reduce MSH levels and accelerate aging. So what you can do for this one, adaptogens like ashwagandha and rhodiola that support the body's stress response, which may positively affect hormone balance and melanin production. And copper and iron supplements, again, copper and iron as well. These are essential nutrients, but you don't want to overdo them. So you never supplement iron unless you're deficient in it, and you never supplement copper unless you're deficient in it. Okay, so just make sure you do check those first. Both are essential for melanin production, however, and maintain optimum levels can support hair pigmentation. Then there's the PRDX3 gene, and this helps protect against oxidative stress in mitochondria, and dysfunction in this gene can lead to an increased free radical damage and hair greying. What you can do for that one is coenzyme Q10, which supports mitochondrial function and reduces oxidative stress. And again, I love Dr. Barry Tan's version of this, where he puts CoQ10 with something called GG, geranyl, which helps get the coenzyme Q10, because that's a big albatross of a molecule and it's hard to get it into the cells, and only a very small percentage gets through. So when you put it with GG gets straight through into the cell, and that helps support your own CoQ10 production as well. So again, there's always nuance to this conversation, but in general, coenzyme Q10 can help with mitochondrial function and reduce that oxidative damage, and supports with that gene. Again, the vitamin E, once again, tocotrienols, not the tocopherols, and alpha-lipoic acid. Now, these antioxidants can help mitigate mitochondrial damage and maintain healthy hair pigmentation. And number 8, if you wanted another one, MITF, microthalamium-associated transcription factor, say that fast 5 times. And MITF is crucial for regulating melanocyte survival and melanin production, and changes in MITF function can lead to reduced melanocyte numbers, accelerating greying. So what you can do for that is resveratrol and curcumin, so both help preserve melanocyte health and function. And antioxidants also, like astaxanthin, another one of my favourites. This is a really powerful antioxidant that may reduce oxidative stress and promote melanocyte activity. It also protects you from sun damage, so there's a lot to love about astaxanthin. check out my episode with Dr. Sandra Kaufman. It's one of her favourites, and she is a longevity doctor who's written a book, The Kaufman Protocol. Really worth reading, really worth listening to that episode as well. Genetic testing and personalising, I'm a big fan, right? I use a number of different companies that we do genetic testing with, and they all do different combinations of genes, so you need to sort of look at what your goals are as to which one you use. But understanding your genetic makeup, it's like having a library of what your blueprint is. It's like when you build a house, you want to keep the architect's plan so you know where things are and how to operate things, right? You want to know how things, where the pipes are and where the sewage is and where the this is and where the that is. Well, it's the same sort of thing with genetic testing. You want to be able to personalise your exercise, the time you eat, how often you eat, what foods you eat, what types of exercise, what supplements you may be needing to reverse some of the variants that you have, and all of these. It's empowering information. But I won't get off topic. That's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for bearing with me. There's a lot of information. Rewind it, watch it again, take notes, do all of that good stuff. But look really at the supplements first, and then the peptides probably second if you've got access to peptides, if you want to slow the hair reversal. And the red light therapy, go and listen to my episode with Daniel Ebbett, who's the CEO of Block Blue Light, which is the best red light company in the world. Happens to be another Kiwi, and he will explain why and how and what, a deep dive into the red light world of red light therapy. So those are the things that you can do. Please like and subscribe, share this content with your friends. Make sure you check out the podcast and comment below if you've got anything positive to say. I'd love to hear it, and any feedback or any questions that you have. So thanks for hanging in there today, and I hope that was really helpful, and I hope you keep your hair colour. Okay, thanks guys.